Welcome back to another episode of Push Through. And if you're watching here on YouTube, you'll see JJ and I are sitting in the same room, and you'll also see that we don't sit in the same room very often because look at this cable management on this table.
Oh, it's a mess.
This is disgusting. But we finally got all the audio to work, and we also see JJ is wearing some sort of blanket.
I'm a little chilled, dude.
He lives in Arizona for a week. But we'll talk about that. But I want to start this episode quoting the original Top Gun. Now, for all of you millennials out there, JJ included, you might not get the reference. I know you're into the new Top Gun, Maverick.
I haven't even seen it.
Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
Okay, good. But you've seen the first one.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to start this episode with, JJ, you had a hell of a first day.
I don't follow.
You know when he shows up there and gentlemen, you had a hell of a first day after he does the flyby.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm with you.
That
now.
should just,
Got it.
anyway,
Yeah.
you got to New York today.
Yeah. It has been a hell of a first day.
We've had a hell of a first day.
It's, so you may see a cover on me right now. I'm a little chilled. I popped a cherry today, Brad.
You had a first, and I'm always a big fan of firsts.
Mm-hmm.
And I love being there for people's firsts. Now, not like first arrest. That's not, I don't want to be there for that.
Yeah, that's not good.
Actually, that'd be cool. But certain things, especially when there are things that I do in my life that, A, people think I'm crazy for, or just think the group of people
Mm-hmm.
are crazy. And two, when I really believe that it'll help somebody. So what'd you do today? First, well, you got here. You got here about 9:30 this morning?
Yeah, something like that.
All right. So we'll do a play-by-play of today. And there's actually, for the listeners out there, there's going to be some tokens. There's going to be some good things.
So we get here, and Brad and I are just kind of sitting out back chilling. And I look over and I see his new contraption on the deck that wasn't there last time I was here. And I'm like, oh, that's the old cold plunge bath or whatever you want to call it.
Nice bath, yeah.
So I think you started talking about it or something, and then we opened it and I felt it, and I was like, holy shit, dude. It's no joke. That was just fingertips. And I think we sat back down, started talking or whatever, and then you're like, so you gonna get in? And I was like, oh,
you got shorts on.
And I was already chilled too, because I was like, kind of cold. I mean, it's not cold here. It feels great, but
It was 65 today.
Yeah.
For reference, it was 65.
yeah, and I had shorts and a t-shirt coming from 86, 87 degree weather. So it was a slight chill, but I was like, I was like, you know what? Screw it. So yeah, I'm going to get in. I'm going to try it. So literally just showed up to New York, and I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm going to jump in this ice bath. Open it up, and I touched it again. I think he's like, don't touch it, just get in.
Yeah, you're trying to do like the twinkle toes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, just get in, dude.
So I stepped in, and even just stepping my feet into the water, I instantly thought to myself, oh shit, I got nervous. I got nervous to jump in.
I got to cut you off quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So as somebody that cold plunges, like I'm in that community.
Yeah,
So like I know all the science and all the bullshit that you hear.
nerd.
What was your, not expectation, but what did you know or hear about cold plunging besides what you've heard from me, like before you got in? Like what were your expectations?
Honestly, like the only thing I really ever seen about it is TikTok videos.
Okay.
Just like dudes like smashing the ice up in the snow, and then like they throw the 15, 20 pound weight and it breaks. That's really like the main. I've seen like a few of those pop up, and then like it's always like super motivational. But I always thought to myself, I'm like, okay, like cold water, like is it really gonna help that much? So I mean, to the extent I don't know any science behind it. I don't know anything about it. Like I know I could see like there could potentially be benefits because you're shocking your body. But when it comes to the actual science behind it, no idea.
All right.
No idea.
So you're just like, let's send it.
Basically, yeah. I think I said that.
So, okay, now continue, yeah.
So I get in, feet in first, and I get this like nervous feeling, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to do this. Because like I've jumped in cold water before. I've jumped in, swimming pools in the winter or whatever. So I knew it was going to be a big shock, but I don't think I was anticipating it to be that much, because usually when you do like a jump in a polar plunge, or you jump into a pool, you get in, you get out.
Mm-hmm.
I had to submerge myself, and then quickly my mind was telling me to get out.
And it was 39 degrees for anybody that's curious.
I mean, my body instantly went to the like, what is it?
Fight or flight.
Fight or flight. And my mind was literally going, just get out, dude. Like, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
I was in complete shock. My body was like, lost my breath. Like, couldn't get my breath back. And it was almost like a reflex, like, just stand up. But then I was like, no, you gotta stay in here. The first 30 seconds was a complete whirlwind of emotions, and like also mainly me trying to fight myself to just calm down. Because I was like, my body was shaking, I couldn't control it, so that was like freaking me out. I was like, God, why can't I just stop shaking and just... So I like would try to close my eyes, and I'd wake right back up, and I had to like put my tongue between my teeth because I felt like I was grinding my teeth too hard. I'm like, shit. So then, dude, it was literally like right after 30 seconds, I go, oh, wow. Like, body's still shaking, but I felt this almost like feeling come over me that I was like, I could feel the coldness still.
Right.
I could feel like when I would move my arms or hands or something, like you said, you can feel like the wave of the water on your skin,
mm-hmm.
the coldness. But there was almost like a sense of relaxation almost. Like, it was almost so cold that I was almost like there was nothing else going on in the world except me and that cold plunge.
And I didn't hype you up. I didn't tell you the sciences, and I didn't tell you, oh, you're going to feel this. And then I just said, you're going to feel good.
Yeah. It was weird, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess I wasn't expecting it to. I was expecting to get in this cold plunge, be cold as shit for 3 minutes, get out and be like, that was stupid. So dumb. So I'll fast forward real quick. We can talk about the workout and stuff in a second. I guess I enjoyed it so much because I did it a second time today. You know? I was like, I got to do that again. Which, again, it was after a workout. My body was kind of tired. I wasn't hot, though. Like, I was chilled when we got back. But I'm like, man, just, I don't know. I was like craving that feeling again, I guess. Same thing. I looked at the pool. I was like, dude, I'm fucking nervous again. And I'm like, I want to get in there, but I don't. It was so weird. I step in, same feeling. I'm like, holy shit, I'm about to do this. I drop down. Next 30 seconds, same thing. Cold as shit. Your body's like, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Just step out. But then you just got to fight it. You just got to tell yourself, no, just enjoy the pain right now.
Right.
And then as soon as you get, I'm telling you, it's like 30 seconds of hell.
15, yeah.
Yeah, it was a little longer for me, but 30 seconds of hell, and then you just get this like, boom, instant clarity. You, by yourself, fighting this coldness. And dude, it was nice. It was. It was something else, man.
It has become part of my daily routine, number one, but I've been going since November. So I just bought like a horse trough off a Tractor Supply, 100 gallons. And the winter was my chiller. And it got cold. Like, I had frozen, like just like you see in TikTok. And there was just something about that do hard things, as Andy Glaze says. And like overcoming that nervousness of standing there, and that's just the mental, because I think you hear so much science about the cold plunge and things like that, but
I don't.
Well, I do. I've read all the books, but what people fail to look over is the psychological benefits. And it sounds super cliche, but yeah, I can promise you this, if you can get out of bed, because I do it first thing in the morning. If you can get out of bed at 5, 6, 7, whenever you get out of bed, and you can roll out of bed and you can put yourself in
it'd be tough, dude.
39 to 45, even 50-degree water for 3 to 5 minutes, I can almost promise you that's the hardest thing you're going to do that whole day.
That would be very hard.
And I really think about that like, that's going to be like, when I have like a long run or something like that, I'll be like, the long run is not going to be harder than what I just did.
Right.
And the science is great. But I mean, I definitely grew a tolerance to the cold over winter. I was definitely more comfortable in the cold. Now that the spring is out and like pools are going to start opening, I'll definitely be more comfortable there. It definitely helped with my fat loss. But for me, it was kind of like the dopamine fix that I needed, like that I was missing when I went sober. That rush of dopamine, which is our pleasure seeking, hormone. And it's freaking, yeah, it was good.
Good point.
So yeah, you did it.
I did, man. It was.
You do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I said you'll do it every day. That's
yeah. I can definitely. Yeah.
And I think that started a chain of events of like us looking, or that was the first time in the day where we looked at each other like
the first one.
Or we just looked at each other like, well, this is a different kind of day than all the other times you've been here to visit. And I mean, generally you get off the plane and we head right to a bar. We didn't even go to my house. We head right to a bar, right to Dubco, right to the brewery. And
3-4 beers deep.
The kids are at school, and yeah, we end up somewhere, and we always have to get picked up.
Yeah.
And I said my wife working. We catch a pretty nice day buzz
for sure.
And this time we were, just talking about life, which is often like sometimes we rush to the bar to catch a buzz to just make conversations easier.
Right.
So we actually got to discuss things and then plan a workouts and plan fitness for the day and not even worry about how many times do you come and be like, all right, we're not going to get too fucked up tonight.
Every time.
We're like, oh, we got to work. I don't want to wake up with a hangover. I don't want to do this. That's all we talk about. And now we're like, oh my God, I hope my legs don't hurt so bad tomorrow after what we did. And it's just, and that's not like standing on a soapbox. That's just saying that, I guess.
Oh, it's a complete difference in how the day's gone by, the productivity we've had just in working out and getting stuff done. I mean, and I know both of us will wake up tomorrow. First, we're going to sleep good.
Ah, great.
We're going to sleep good. And then second, we're going to wake up and actually feel ready to go. Tara's says she's going to go get coffee. So I know when I wake up, I'm going to be stoked to get a coffee in me. And I'll be up, chirpy, ready. Dude, it's just, I told you, I was like, and also, I haven't officially stopped drinking. I'll have a drink or whatever whenever I feel like it. But with me stopping for that month of April, I mean, in the past 3 weeks, I've only drank twice, I think.
But I think it also shows your support of my sobriety.
Oh, well, for sure.
But
even on just me taking a break and how people may take a break, but then they go right back to where they were. I took a break, dude, because I've lowered the amount of alcohol I take in on a weekly basis because I've literally seen how much better how much better I am as a father, how much better I am as a husband, as working, getting stuff done, productivity. Working out is the biggest change, I think, with not drinking as much alcohol. I work out almost every day now. Would never do that before.
For me, it's those, if you think you're struggling with alcohol or something like that, you feel like...
I got to interrupt you real quick. So I think that the alcohol thing helped, but I'm going to brag on you for a second. I mean, if you guys can't tell by your video, you've lost so much weight. Your face is skinnier. I mean, I walked into your truck. I was like, Jesus Christ. So, but I've noticed that change along the way. You've been doing this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And, since the beginning of 23, right? Or kind of?
Sober?
Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas I drank.
And then working out you were doing before that.
I had the mile streak.
Yeah.
But, I really started... And I got my weekly mileage up to over 25-30 starting in November.
Okay. So yeah,
and the thing that was holding me back from going from 30 up to 50 was the hangover Saturday morning that was taking out an hour or two that I could be running.
Good point. So I've seen this process, for the past 6-7 months. And dude, I was watching you and it was one of those things where you see your friend doing something and you're like, fuck, oh, I need to be doing that. Oh, damn. It's almost not jealousy, but it's a fear of missing out maybe.
Uh-huh.
And I see you getting better and I was just like, damn, I got to take advantage of that. I got to do that too. And so, yeah, dude, I know for sure I would not be doing what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for you and how you've really grinded and changed a lot over the past 6 months.
And that's And that was the point that I was going to try and make about like how a friendship, right? You should build each other up, right? You each hold value. And I mean, the podcast, we used to get like feedback about, you know, we used to get more questions actually.
Right.
The feedback and the DMs we would get would be like, what do I do about this? Or, hey, what do I do about this? Which was great. You know, that's what we were there for, to educate. But now we're getting things like, hey, I started to run, or I joined Strava.
It's awesome. It's so
and
cool.
It's just like a nice little evolution of like what we're trying to do with the new the new branding. But, you know, as somebody that if you are struggling or you want to stop, there's always like that feeling of could I do the things that I'm doing sober, you know, or would somebody still be friends with me if I was sober? And I didn't need to worry about you coming and us not drinking, where every single time you've come to New York, probably 5 or 6 times now, we have drank 80% of the literal minutes that you've been here.
Absolutely.
Whether it was out at dinner and cocktails and, you know, so it was a major transition. Like we had to fill 80% of our time with sober activity.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel the pressure to do that. And that's like...
Oh, well, I told you whenever we were flying in, or when we were driving in from you picked me up at the airport, I go, dude, it's weird. Like, usually I'm like craving a drink, can't wait to get a beer, can't wait to get a cocktail, and just send it. But then now that I've had alcohol in my system for so long, I don't crave it nearly as much.
Right.
Like, yeah, when I told you about the Mexican thing, we went to Mexican and there was a happy hour going on. And it was like a $2 draft or like $6 pitcher or whatever, $7 pitcher. I told him, I was like, dude, old regular JJ would have easily had that pitcher on the table.
Deleted that
absolutely pitcher. Deleted that pitcher, and Lindsay would have had to drive us home.
Right.
And so this is what got me. Like, it was one of those times where I was like, I wanted a beer. But I was like, do I really need a beer? Because I knew the next day I had to wake up early and I was flying here and we were going to do a workout. And I wanted to be on my 100% game.
Right.
So I'm like, I go, nah, that's fine. I don't need it. And I wanted to save the money too. You know, it's nice saving money with alcohol. Well, then Mason looks up at me. He goes, Dad, you can't drink beer. You've been running.
And you're fucked.
I was like, done. Not getting it. Not getting the beer.
Kids get involved and it's like, son of a bitch. And this is not a you should go sober podcast.
No, not at all.
Because
like I said, I'm still drinking.
I'm taking you to a place tomorrow, and if you don't get a fancy glass of wine with my wife, I'm going to be offended. You know, like we're going to a place tomorrow that there's a Cicerone that comes to the table, and like if you don't know what Cicerone is, they are wine nerds.
Jeez.
And then we get our own sushi chef that comes to the table, and then you get your meat chef that comes to the table, and it's going to be a fancy dinner, and I'm going to have to pay the bill. I'll let you tip though, because you don't like how I tip, but I'm an over tipper. But and it's nice to be operating, or at least know that you're operating on 100%. And I guess that's the point I want to make. Like, if you feel like there's reasons why you're not at 100%, and alcohol is one of those, and you're not sure if eliminating it, even for a month in your case, will change, it'll change.
Oh, dude, 100% change. Like I said, the less alcohol I drank, the less I craved it.
You want to talk about the markets before we get to our workout for the day? Give a little suspense, because I just want to say something.
As far as what?
Fucking Google.
Oh yeah.
Google.
I mean, I'm not minding it because I was slowly building up 100 shares and I'm at 72. But I wish I just would have bought all of them sooner. But yeah, dude, it's every day it's like new 52-week high, new 52-week high.
So, for those of you that watch me on YouTube, you know the debacle that I've been having. But essentially, when they announced a split last June, maybe a year ago, all the stocks that had announced splits, tech stocks before that, have all shot up in price as they approach their split. Mm-hmm. So me, you know, Mr. I know the markets, I'm a professional investor, and past history is going to definitely dictate what's going to happen now. Yeah. As soon as they announced it, I bought 5 shares because they announced a 20-to-1 split. Mm-hmm. So I was like, with 5 shares, and it was, I think, $15,000, something like that. With 5 shares, I can get the 20-1, which will get me to 100 shares, and then I can write the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from that day, we all know how 2022 went. Google just got eviscerated. And it went from what would have been a split price of $130 a share after the split down to like, I think it got into the 80s, the mid 80s. And that's a big kick in the pants. And then it's so when it split, you're like, all right, still go up. It didn't. So I started writing calls well below my basis like an asshole. And I was like writing calls at 92, well below my basis, and rolling them here and there, rolling them out. And then over the last 2 weeks,
shot up. Well, they announced their AI platform.
It went, I think there was like a week where it went from like maybe 98 up to 110. Mm-hmm. It might have been earnings play. And then it came right back down. And I was like, okay, like I can handle that. And then this time it's gone up. And I'm like, all right, when it comes down. And it got to the point where I'd been rolling since.
I'm surprised you haven't got it signed yet.
I keep it very, very close to expiration.
Okay.
Which really, really keeps some of the Greeks in my favor, but they also have a lot of volatility, which is nice. Mm-hmm. So the intrinsic value has been really good. It's in the money, but the extrinsic value hasn't really made it worth it for the buyer to exercise. And essentially when a buyer exercises early, they burn all their extrinsic value. So unless you're going to get somebody's trying to capture a dividend, you're very rarely going to, unless it's crazy, like unless it's very out of money. And it was getting there. So I just rolled at a loss to get it a little closer. I think I went from 110 up to 113. And then it just, I called you yesterday. I'm like, Google just hit a 52-week high. And then we're in the car and you get an alert on your watch like, doo, doo, doo. And I'm like, oh, that's a cute little ringtone. And you're like, oh, it's not cute for you because Google just hit another 52-week high. But I still own the 100 shares, so I'm doing very well capital gains wise. But
in premium, I'm sure you're
premiums are doing good. But like the crazier thing is, I think it traded for 122 today. I'm still not back to my 130 original basis.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So I'm still down $1,000 on that position. But I can't say I've made $1,000 in premiums. Okay. But I'm still down in the position. But at the end of the day, it's Google, right? Yeah. I just wanted to say, fucking Google.
Yeah.
Everything else is, the markets have been green.
Yeah, they have.
Since I stopped day trading, I'm very like out of touch of the markets. It's crazy how much I knew every like economic event. I knew every earnings of every business. Like there was so much more I knew. And maybe that's why I like day trading, because I knew so much more and I was really in touch with the markets. And and I would have conversations with you about like, CPI data coming out tonight. But I knew like, oh, cool, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. And you said something like, it's crazy how disconnected you become when you're just a simple index fund investor or in your case, a simple dividend investor. And that's where I'm at since I stopped. I can't.
See, I've been paying attention more to it.
I can't believe how much energy it really took to day trade.
I'm sure.
And like that's why I just wouldn't. That's why I stopped, because not because I don't think people can make money doing it, because I know people making a lot of money doing it. It's because I didn't have the energy to do it.
Yeah, that's something I just wouldn't want to get into. Not day trading. Like I love my long-term investing, buy and hold, and also sell some options for income. It's like my go-to.
I got Lagunitas IPNA. If you are,
that's cool.
If you're an IPA drinker, like of course, Athletic Brewing's great. Love their beers, fake beers. I don't even know what you call them, but they're still not an IPA to me. Mm. They're very commercial. These are really, really good. And somebody asked me, just fun fact, because somebody asked me recently, like, how are they making these NAs? Is it distilled? Like, what the hell? How do they get the flavor?
I think Lindsay asked, she's like, how do you know there's for sure zero alcohol in there? It's probably still recording.
It is. Well, essentially what they do.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
What was that? This guy's buzzing.
Sorry. Whole bunch of shit going on right
now. We're professionals. We're sorry.
Yeah, right.
Essentially, they make the beer, and then they put it in this awesome centrifuge, very expensive centrifuge, and alcohol is less dense than water. So in the centrifuge, they separate it that way. But now the beauty is, and this is why a lot of breweries are going down this route, is because, so you make their stock beer. So they make Lagunitas IPA.
So what's the alcohol come out as?
Seltzer.
Oh.
That's why the benefit for them is they make one enormous batch of IPA. Then they pull off a third of it to make the NA. And then they use the separated alcohol, which is the base of seltzers. Then they carbonate that, flavor it. So they get
That's perfect.
They get 3 different SKUs for making one beer.
Batch. Wow.
The problem is it's only economical at scale, which is why you're seeing the big breweries doing, why the local guys probably won't. Like, we looked into it at Dubco. I think for our scale, it was going to cost us just for the machine like almost $200K.
Oh, damn. Wow, yeah,
It's easier just to buy a couple kegs of Athletic Brewing and put it on the tap room for the
sure.
non-drinkers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's intense. Well, do we talk about our workout that we freaking did?
First, talk about, because we talked about this on the podcast, that we were going to do this. I think that's how we ended the podcast.
Yeah.
That we were going to pick awful workouts.
Right. So we came up, part of our, I think it was after the cold plunge.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, let's figure out these workouts we're going to do. So quick backstory. If you didn't listen to last week's podcast, we talked about us coming up here and that we were going to make a list of like 10 to 15 crazy hard workouts that we were going to do. We were going to put them in a hat, pick them out, and then that's the one we had to do. No excuses, nothing. We're doing it. Well, so we're sitting at the table, we're filling stuff out. We're like, all right, this would be a good one. And we're looking stuff up. Oh, this would be a good one. Thought of a couple fun ones / crazy. And then there was one out there. There's really 2 out there for me.
There's 3 out there that I'm terrified. Like I said, when we were making these workouts, we said, hey,
there's 3.
One of us needs to say, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And some of those we agreed and some of them we didn't. And like,
right.
I picked workouts that I've wanted to do, but like would never really do alone. Like I needed an accountability partner for.
And today was one of them.
Well, I'm going to make a reel. I think you're going to make a reel of it too. You can check out Brad Finn Runs for like the details of the actual video from today. But yeah, we had like 13 things. We have the hat because we're going to do an awful workout every single day that JJ's here on top of our normal 100K training program. So we had 13 things in there. And as I'm doing the intro for this reel, I was saying something like, hey, we're going to pick an awful workout every single day. And today's Friday, and we're about to pick our awful workout of the day. And JJ said, and to be honest, there's one in there that I do not want to pick.
Yes.
And I knew which one it was.
Hang on, because the other 2 that are scary now, I wasn't scared of to start off with. It's the fact that I may have to do that tomorrow.
After today.
Yes.
Yeah, and we both knew that there was one in there that would beat our bodies up.
Yes.
Like I'm feeling pumpy right now. It's been a couple hours and you just know, especially I don't really train my upper body at all.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but it was a full body domination.
Oh, 100%.
It took you an hour.
Yes.
It took me an hour and 17 minutes. So here's what we did today. It's the hardest mile, and I got it from an Instagrammer, and I don't know if he got it from somewhere else, but I'll give credit to Eric Hinman. I don't know if he coined the phrase, if he made the workout up, or if he heard it from somebody. So don't get in the comments and be like, Eric didn't. This is where I heard it from. And it's called the hardest mile. And all you need is a track or a quarter-mile distance to complete this workout. And I think you should try it. I'm never going to do it again.
I may do.
JJ was like, oh, I really want to break an hour. So when I do it again, I'm never doing it again. That was a one and done for me.
Yeah.
So the hardest mile, it's only a mile.
Okay.
So a mile is 4 laps on the track.
Right.
So the first lap, burpee, broad jump. If you don't know what a burpee is, it's pretty much chest to deck.
Jump down, jump back up.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. And like I said, when you get tired, lay down as fast as possible, get your chest on the ground, stand up as fast as possible, and then take a 2-footed broad jump. And at first you're like, oh, how hard can that be? But then when you start to, this is where we fucked ourselves over a little bit because we started to do the math.
Yeah.
And we're like, if you can broad jump a meter, 3 feet, well, a lap around the track is 400 meters. So we're like on the kind of the average side, you're going to be doing 400 of each movement.
Or 200 if you can jump 2.
If you can jump 2 meters. And then we were like, can you fall down into the push-up position? And like we made a couple rules.
Yeah.
So that the first lap is burpee broad jump. As soon as you finish that, it's walking lunges, which is essentially like 1.5 meters. So you have 400 lunges. And then you have a bear crawl.
Around the whole track.
A bear crawl.
And if you stopped, you had to stand up and you couldn't move.
Yeah. And like at this point, from the burpees and stuff, the track, it's rubbery, but it's not like soft.
No.
My hand and the lunges tore my knees up. And then, then bear crawl. And then the last lap, which is it was the most glorious thing ever, was just run.
Yeah.
Get it done.
It's the best quarter mile I've ever ran.
What was anything like any of the movements easier or way harder than when you first, because we knew it was going to suck?
Oh, for sure. So I started out the gate with the burpees to the broad jump. And at first I started out and I was like, ooh, like I was going pretty quick. And I know from past experience, like you get excited at the very beginning, but if you come too fast out the gate, you're going to ruin yourself. So we both backed off.
Right.
We both were like, oh, okay. Like, cause we were both like, pacing each other. And
Eric went 35 minutes for reference.
Oh my gosh. So.
And he's older than me. He's 42.
Jeez. That's crazy.
Yeah. He just qualified for the semifinals of the CrossFit Games. Like,
wow.
Yeah, he's fit.
So I think we got like maybe 100, not even 100. We were maybe 50 meters in, and I look back and I'm looking where we're at. I was like, holy shit, this is gonna take forever.
Like it felt like you weren't even moving. And the football field, you're watching the yards not move.
Yes.
Like you're like, oh, I just did so many, and you went from the 30-yard line to the 33-yard line. You're like, oh my god.
I know. So that took a lot longer than I expected.
I think my first lap took me almost 27 minutes, almost a half hour.
Yeah, it was long.
And
very long.
You were probably 5 minutes ahead of me. Yeah.
So I get to the next lap, and I'm like, okay, let's knock out these lunges. So real quick, I thought for a second, I'm like, maybe I can just take them in strides, like no breaks, no stopping in the middle, just strides. And I started off, I think I did maybe 5 or 10, and I realized I wasn't going anywhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go around this whole track again. Same speed, it felt like. I felt like
it was the same
yes,
speed. Yeah.
Just taking forever. I got to the 50-meter mark. I looked back. I was like, holy shit, I got this whole thing to do over again. And then about halfway, my legs started getting a little like rubbery.
Because I was like, the burpees they're mentally a mindfuck.
Yeah.
And they're more cardio, but like the broad jumps, your toes, like I'm jamming in.
Yes.
But the lunges, not a lot of cardio, but just when your legs go and when your quads go, it's like, oh my, when you feel them start to tighten up.
So I didn't use my hands either.
Oh, I used the shit out of my hands.
See, I was trying to really like throw my arms through. There's a couple times I grabbed my knee.
If there was referees there, I would have taken some penalties.
There was a couple of times I saw you walking. I was like, dude, come on.
I'm gonna be fully honest. I wasn't going for walks, but I might have like tripped into another step or two. Yeah. I always stubbed my toe and tripped.
Yeah,
That's really what it was.
That's what they call it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm coming back from an ankle injury, and I got stability issues.
Got it.
Yeah.
So lunges took forever.
I loved the lunges, but like I used my hands, and I have strong legs.
Yeah. So got around. Lunges were done. I'm like, thank God that's done. So I have stronger upper body strength. Yeah. So the bear crawls didn't scare me. Like I knew it was going to be like, that was going to be a movement for me to really catch up on some time. But then I started it and I go, oh shit. I look up, same thing. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to take forever.
Like, I'm like, I have no upper body strength because of my shoulder injury. And like, this was one of those where when you walk slow, you don't really see your feet not moving.
Right.
But when you're bear crawling and you're staring at your hands and you're just watching your hands go like a half a hand further and you're like just picture this. Picture getting to the end zone, right? And then even just being on all fours, but you had to move to the other end zone 1/2 of a hand at a time. And then when you got there, you had to come back.
Oh.
It was...
And go around twice.
It was brutal. I hated the bear crawl.
So I'll be honest with you. There was some times where I was like, holy shit, this sucks. But I kind of broke it up to where I would look at something on the track and I'd be like, okay, make it to that spot. You get a quick 10-second break. So then I'd look at the number and I'd look down. I'm like, all right. Because like you said, you're looking right down. Like you're not looking around or anything. You don't know what's coming up. So I would just keep walking. I'm like, all right, don't stop until you see it. Boom, I'd see the number pop up in front of me. I could stand up, take like 5, 10, 15-second break. Kept doing that all the way around. I got around pretty quick. And then I was like, I think I had like 50 meters left. I looked at my watch and it was at like 57 minutes or 57:30. And I was like, because I wasn't looking at my time really at all.
Right now.
And I was like, shit. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it under 60 minutes because I looked at how far I had to go. So I had to go down the whole stretch. I was like, there's no way I'm getting down there in less than a minute to give me 2 minutes to run my 400. No way. So I get down there and I'm looking and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so close. So I crossed the bear crawls. I think I had 60 seconds left. I had 60 seconds to run a 400, and I'm like,
nope,
no way. I'm like,
it's a 4-minute mile, bud.
Yeah, dude. So it was literally. My legs were already wore out too from all that. So I was just like trying to push a little harder pace, but I was still like just trying to survive. And then I crossed, I think it was like, a minute and 1 or minute and 30 or something like that I finished at. And it was brutal. It was more, there were some times where I was like I felt good. I did. Like I felt fine, but it was more of like the mental part of it.
I would do it again if there was like 25 or 30 of us out there.
Yeah.
And there was like just like people, because like there were times where like you were 100 meters ahead of me and you'd yell back like, let's go. And
you're like, shut the fuck up.
I was like, shut up, man. And that's the other thing too. Like it was playoff baseball in West Islip today. So like there was like bros out in the bleachers like looking at us. There's people always playing soccer or lacrosse on the fields here. So like,
what are these guys doing?
What the fuck are these guys doing? Like this old dudes, like just old balls, like just going around the track. But like because for me it's lonely.
Yeah.
It's lonely watching your hands move a little bit. And it would be kind of cool, like if you find someone to pace with.
That would be cool.
Like the first 5 meters that we were together was the best part.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a tough one, dude.
And we hit the ice bath.
And then we came home and did that. And then I'm still, my chill's gone now, but.
Oh, yeah, because the ice bath.
Yeah.
And because that's one thing you didn't realize. You're cold for a good hour after you get out.
Yeah, I didn't think that
would happen. And you took
a
hot shower.
And that was one of the best hot showers I've ever had.
Right.
Well, tell them real quick about the science behind. Like, don't spend too long, but tell them I didn't know that because it was a good.
Essentially, when you get in, right.
This is the reasoning why I had that chill. Longer after.
Right. Because people start to freak out and they're like, I'm dying, like I'm hypothermic. That's not the case. Mm-hmm. So what happens when you get in? All your muscles all your blood vessels on the outside near the skin and your hands and extremities, your body goes into fight or flight. So those constrict to keep all the blood at your core. Right.
Which I can tell that once you told me that, I was like, dude, my hands were
tingly.
They were so tingly and I like couldn't, they felt the coldest part of my body was my hands.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, they're also like not a lot of fat and skin there, but so then your core actually stays nice and warm and your extremities, which are on the outside in your skin, super cold. You get out, your skin is red, things like that. Mm-hmm. Well, then what happens is you stand in the sun or you put a towel on, you start to dry off and you have this, you feel cold because that's what you're touching, your skin, that's what's touching the air, but your core is actually really, really warm and that's part of the benefits. Like it really does good for the insides. But then what happens is your skin starts to warm up, those capillaries begin to now open and all that warm blood that was in your core now goes out to your skin that's opening up, but still cold. Mm-hmm. Like it's still pretty cold. And all of that blood gets chilled and then pumped back to your core. And your warm core is like, where's all this cold blood coming from? And then your body just drops. Mm-hmm. Your core temperature drops a little bit, which is why it's great for like before sleep. Like I get the dopamine rush.
Oh, that's true.
But I can also use that dopamine as a feeling of low anxiety. Mm. Like when I get to bed, if I stay up and toss and turn, it's because my mind's racing. So I'll jump in the ice bath, raise that energy level, but lower my stress through dopamine. And then your best time to sleep is when your core temperature is dropping, which is why you go into REM sleep like 2 hours after, because that's when your core drops. So like it helps you just like go to sleep.
Yeah, and then I was standing in the kitchen, and I felt the chill, and I looked down. I go, look at this! Had freaking goosebumps just pop up. Mm-hmm. It was weird, so weird.
Yeah, in the winter, like an hour later, I would still be in a winter hat, and the fastest way is actually not your head. It's your hands and the bottom of your feet.
Mm.
So like I have a pair of slippers, like winter wool slippers. And when I'm cold, that does the trick for me. I throw them in there and it just, the bottoms of my feet just warm them up. But
I didn't give enough credit to that warm shower. Bro, that warm shower felt so good after that.
yeah,
plunge.
I mean, I tend to take colder showers too. So
No, I love my hot showers.
there's a time and a place. But you will feel
Like every day.
you like every time you fucking shower.
Yeah.
You will feel now like for bodybuilding and stuff, they say it's better to go in before because it will constrict those muscles and stop hypertrophy when you grow your muscles. Yeah. So it will stop that. So you don't really want to do it after lifting per se. But dude, man, for anti-inflammatory, it definitely slowed down how much. I mean, like you sprain an ankle, what do? You put ice on it.
Right.
Like, you do that to your whole body.
I'm telling you, dude, like I'm a believer. I mean, if it may be something I would want to buy down the road after like runs and stuff, come back and just hop in that. Dude,
wait
like
till tomorrow.
That would be one thing that I look forward to. Like, you know, when you like wake up or like you're getting out of bed, but like the one thing you think about is like, okay, I get out of this bed. Let's go. What motivates you is that coffee. Like you get excited to go get that coffee.
Dude, we're gonna jump in. We're gonna jump in first thing tomorrow morning, and then we're gonna have a coffee. But I have a hot coffee, which is nice for it. You asked for ice.
Yeah, I'm an iced coffee.
You might have to change your order to hot coffee.
I'll drink ice still. I don't even drink hot coffee anymore. All I drink's ice.
This guy's so Florida.
I've been drinking ice.
Comes up here,
forever.
he's freezing when it's 65 degrees.
Oh my God.
Doesn't know what hot coffee is anymore.
I haven't drank hot coffee in years.
You guys got to tell us in the Discord because I was talking about this was JJ on the way in. I went running with some guys last night and I was like, oh my buddy's coming in. I don't know if I should say my buddy. They're like, where's he from?
Oh,
and I still don't know if you're like from Missouri or from Florida.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I guess I'm from Missouri.
So
born and raised, but
hop in the Discord, please. That's like
I live in Florida now, so I don't know.
You're from Missouri, but you live in Florida still. I think they say that you don't have to pay capital gains on your house if you live there 2 of the first 5 years. I think if you live somewhere for 5 years, you're kind of from there.
For sure.
Like your kids are going to say they're from Florida.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're not from Missouri. They
which, you know, is going to give... Actually, I'm not going to trash. There's people that live in Florida. I think Florida's a great state.
It is. I moved there.
It's a great state. It's a great state. Yeah, it's great.
All right, so what we got next?
So
I'm looking at a green hat here if you guys aren't watching on the video.
So we, I just picked a hat because picking out of a hat is good. And we kept them in there. So
real quick, if you remember, say some of these workouts we have in there. So we got there's 2 of them that now that me and you. Well, there's one.
Okay,
of
let's talk about which ones we're fearing.
Yeah,
I think Murph, 1 mile, 100 push-ups, 200.
I would rather do that than
it's run a mile, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, run a mile.
Yeah,
should be done with the vest. Not happening.
Yeah,
that's probably the one that I'm fearing the most.
I would rather do Murph than the one I'm fearing,
which is
half marathon.
Which I would love to draw that. But we have 1,000 step ups for time with a 5 mile run.
Dude, that would kill me right now.
1,000 step ups for time. We got a bunch of like hero CrossFit workouts, a bunch of the girl CrossFit workouts, stuff that's like we looked for workouts that had a lot of like plyometrics, low strength. So like on the rower, burpees, box jumps, lightweight, kettlebell swings. We looked for stuff like that.
Oh, just draw it.
So we picked on Instagram. Should we still record this for the second pick for Instagram? Maybe plug the podcast at the same time?
Oh, for sure.
So you do this one. Okay. And so when this is going to come out on Monday, we'll be done with all 3 days of awfulness. But just know that you guys knew first what the day was going to be. Because you picked today, so I got to pick now, right?
All right.
No, go this way.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, well, tell what we're going to do, and then,
Okay. All right, so this is our next pick for the shitty workouts that we're going to be doing tomorrow.
And we're currently recording the Push Through podcast. So they're finding out before you. No,
That's right.
no, you'll find out.
Actually, they'll find out before.
They'll find out first because this will be released on Monday. All right. So, so it's my turn to pick. JJ picked today the hardest mile.
Pick something better.
Tomorrow, we are doing. I'm sorry.
Oh. No, it's not.
We are doing 100 step-ups, run 1/4, 10 rounds for time.
Oh, no.
On a 20-inch box.
I literally said I
You
don't
just
want to
said-
do that.
Now you listen to podcasts and say, that's twice that you picked the workout you didn't want to do because it was going to suck. So tomorrow, the hardest workout.
Follow us on Push Through Podcast.
Jeez.
Oh, no.
All right, so let's talk about tomorrow's workout.
Dude, I'm going to be crushed.
Tomorrow's workout is on a 20-inch plyometric box, right? You have to do alternating steps. You have to come to a full stand. So you have to open your hips. Then you step down. Every 100. Don't pick an. What are you doing?
I just want to see what the other one
No.
Oh, because we got
because
Sunday.
we have one more day. Yeah.
Sunday, that's right.
And then you have to run every 100. You have to run a 1/4 mile for 10 rounds. So it's going to be about 2.5 miles of running and 100 step ups on top of our morning run. I am so excited. I love this workout. This is actually one of the most beneficial workouts for us, though.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
Oh, my legs are going to be toast.
We're going to make a lot of episodes this weekend.
Toast.
Well,
Gosh, dang it.
You might get 2 episodes next week posted. I don't know, because we got a bunch.
Oh, well, you'll hear how this one goes next week.
I think the point, and if you're still listening, you are a real one.
Yes.
And like I said, thanks for the support inside the Discord. It keeps us going, and we kept it open for 250 because we want more people in there. So
yeah,
it's not about the money. We want to build a community.
absolutely.
So if you got the only reason we made it 250 is to keep spammers and bots out of there. So if you got 250 and you want to come chat with us all day about dumb shit like this, that would be really, really appreciated. So
yeah, or get motivated with the community. And
yeah, like I said, the goal of this episode is just to talk about the changes that we're making.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I'm 41 and I'm making all these changes, so it's never too late to make the changes. And sometimes just beat yourself up with a workout. We're going to be sore.
I'm not looking forward to tomorrow.
I am. But remember, the Stoics remind us, today is all of the days.
Today is all of the days.
Today is all of the days.
Oh,
What?
I don't like that one.
Why?
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it is.
How?
What's the only day that matters?
Today. But what about tomorrow?
Dude, I could have a heart attack walking up the stairs. There is no. This is another thing I tell my students, and they hate this.
What?
So I think after your most recent response, you're going to hate it too.
So hang on.
There is no such thing as tomorrow. Tomorrow is today.
Sure, I get it. But
right.
That's like saying eat the candy bar, drink all the beer because you don't know if you'll be here tomorrow. Like, no.
Well, I don't want to be drunk right now. So
you know what I mean? Okay, let me do a different scenario.
YOLO?
Yeah. YOLO every day because you don't, like, you can't, like, you got to be responsible.
I'll tell you this. If I was single and didn't have any dependents or a wife, I'd have no money in the bank.
No way, dude. Oh, I think I would, honestly, like, I would have more.
Oh,
I would
take that, Lindsay.
Well, no, not in a bad way. No, just because, like.
Would you be buying a $500,000 house?
I mean, no, it would be more because I know I would spend way more of our money on, like, building up real estate and taking much bigger risk. Because when you have a family and kids, like, you gotta watch your risk and you gotta watch what you get yourself into. So, like, I mean, I would, if I was by myself and I don't have to worry about myself, I would be taking, like, if there's any young guys out there, or maybe you're newly single, like, right now, like, that's when I would be taking some chances, because you have time. You don't have anyone depending on you. You know, you may get yourself in a bind or something like that.
I'm not saying I'd be reckless with money.
I know that, but
I would say I'd spend a lot more money on myself. I'm saying that a lot of the preparation and savings that I do is,
yeah.
And the reason I don't YOLO is because a lot of the savings and the money things I do are for my family and my dependents. Mm-hmm. But if I didn't have them, then yeah, today, I mean, I would be just going on spontaneous ski trips or signing up for races in Europe and just flying over there.
Yeah.
Yo, step ups, bro. The beautiful thing is it's going to rain, so we can kind of do that in the garage. But we are starting. I haven't told you how far we're running in the morning, but
Okay.
we're starting off the morning with a run.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. This episode's going to come out before Memorial Day, so I want to just say, for everything that Memorial Day is worth to you and those that sacrificed. Right?
Yep.
Right on. Have a good one, guys. We'll catch you on the next episode.